Clark shocked the world and appeared at the Nike studios. It's a bunch of clips that has come out of the pipeline. We finna react to them all, man. This is one right here. I think it's about 6 or 7 of them. Let's check it out.
Take a close look at what Nike did inside its women's basketball headquarters in Beaverton. This was not a generic brand refresh. The facility underwent a full Caitlin Clark transformation. Custom court backdrops featuring her logo, branded refreshments, commemorative basketballs bearing her signature. Every detail was intentional. This level of presentation invites comparison, and it is not exaggeration to say it resembles how Nike treated Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Those athletes were given dedicated spaces, product ecosystems, and long-term strategic planning once Nike confirmed they could dominate culturally as well as competitively. The difference is timing. Clark is receiving this treatment before completing a full WNBA season, before winning a championship, before making an all-star team. That is unprecedented. Nike is not rewarding past achievement here. They are investing in projected dominance. This matters because Nike has decades of experience identifying athletes who can shift culture. They are not guessing. They are modeling future impact based on audience growth, engagement velocity, and cross-demographic appeal. Clark checks every box. The timing of this activation during the WNBA offseason is also deliberate. By moving while Clark is less visible on the court, Nike ensures that brand momentum never slows. They are keeping her presence constant, even when games are not being played. That strategy is long-term thinking. It conditions audiences to associate Clark not just with basketball moments, but with continuity. She exists in the cultural conversation year-round. Nike is not waiting to see if Caitlin Clark becomes the face of women's basketball. They are building the infrastructure to make that outcome inevitable.
And then, now she did give a speech. Hold on, she shoots basketball with a little mini ball. Now they did give her a mini basketball with her logo on it. She hit the shot. There we go. Caitlin, man. So this is the basketball that they got for Caitlin Clark. Got her logo on it. They probably gonna start selling these too. I just love Caitlin Clark logo, man. It looked like a premium design.
Look again at the environment Nike created. The CC branded backdrops, dunking silhouettes, premium coffee service with custom cups. This was experiential marketing engineered for social media distribution. Every surface was designed to be photographed. Every detail encouraged sharing. The result was immediate. Within 6 hours of the footage dropping, Caitlin Clark was trending on X with more than 47,000 mentions. Engagement on Nike Women's Basketball's Instagram account jumped 340% in a single day. The organic reach far exceeded what a traditional paid advertising campaign would have delivered. But the deeper strategy goes beyond numbers. Nike has faced legitimate criticism for how it has handled women athletes in the past. The public dispute with Allison Felix over maternity protections in 2019 damaged trust and credibility. Since then, Nike has needed an investment in women's sports that feels genuine, not performative. Caitlin Clark offers that opportunity. She appeals across demographics. Her style of play translates easily to casual fans. She does not come with polarizing off-court narratives. And, crucially, her fan base skews younger and digitally native, exactly the audience Nike wants to cultivate long-term. This is not just about selling shoes. It is about rebuilding trust, relevance, and cultural leadership in women's sports. Nike is not betting on Caitlin Clark to save women's basketball. They are betting on her to anchor their future within it.
Caitlin Clark worldwide, man. She definitely is. It says promo material shown and given out during Caitlin Clark visit. I believe this is another clip, some more clips. Let me just go to the Caitlin Clark off-season page. Shout out to them. I don't know who run this account, but they do a damn good job, man. They don't give enough credit to Caitlin Clark off-season source. It could be somebody connected to Caitlin. We don't know who run this Twitter account, but shout out to them, just like shout out to the person that runs the Caitlin Clark style account too.
Focus on the logo. The interlocking CC mark that immediately drew comparisons to luxury fashion houses like Chanel and Gucci when it was first revealed. At the time, critics debated whether it was too bold, too aspirational, or too detached from basketball culture. But that debate missed the point entirely. Nike was never designing this logo for a single product category. What matters now is how extensively Nike is deploying it. Basketballs, tote bags, apparel, cookies, coffee cups, training materials. This is not the footprint of a traditional endorsement deal. This is the blueprint of a lifestyle brand. Nike does not commit manufacturing resources at this scale unless the data supports it. And the data around Caitlin Clark is overwhelming. During the 2022-23 season, Iowa women's basketball averaged approximately 538,000 viewers per game. In Clark's final collegiate season, that number exploded to 1.92 million viewers. That is a 257% increase, one of the most dramatic single-player audience shifts in modern sports history. The effect carried directly into the WNBA. After the Indiana Fever selected Clark first overall in April, attendance patterns changed immediately. Home games averaged over 17,000 fans, up from fewer than 5,000 the season before. On the road, the Fever became the league's biggest attraction, driving sellouts and record ticket prices in opposing arenas. Nike sees this not as hype, but as repeatable consumer behavior. Clark does not just draw eyeballs. She moves people physically and financially. Fans plan travel around her games. They purchase merchandise. They engage consistently across platforms. That combination is rare, especially in women's sports, where sustained individual-driven consumer behavior has historically been difficult to maintain. This is why Nike's investment extends far beyond footwear. Shoes are replaceable. Cultural relevance is not. By embedding the CC logo into everyday items and experiences, Nike is anchoring Clark's identity into daily life, not just game nights. This is how brands are built to last. And Nike is making it clear that Caitlin Clark is not a campaign. They are treating her as a cornerstone.
It's still coming out, man. Let me try to refresh this real quick, because I still think his footage still coming out from this event. Wow, look, it says Caitlin Clark logo, cookies to coffee to shooting in Duncan on CC logo backgrounds. Nike WHQ is dripped out with CC stuff. I ain't lying, man. We ain't seen nothing like this since Michael Jordan came, bro. Nike, like, people was feeling the type of way about Nike, man, but Nike is showing out for Caitlin, dog. I don't even think they did all this shit for LeBron.
That jacket is not just apparel. It is not a simple piece of merchandise designed to sell units or fill shelves. It is a signal. Nike does not create premium, high-visibility gear like this for every athlete it sponsors, and it certainly does not do so quietly or accidentally. When Nike moves at this level, it is making a statement about belief, scale, and long-term commitment. And what this latest rollout reveals is just how much the sportswear giant is betting on Caitlin Clark. Since June 2024, Clark has largely stayed out of the public spotlight, particularly after being left off Team USA. There were no public complaints, no media tours, no attempts to force a narrative. To the casual observer, it may have appeared that her momentum had slowed or that the attention had shifted elsewhere. But while Clark was relatively quiet publicly, Nike was doing the opposite behind closed doors. The footage that recently surfaced from Nike's headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, makes that clear. This was not a small internal meeting. It was not a routine brand appearance. It was a carefully constructed moment designed to communicate intent to fans, to partners, and most importantly, to the WNBA itself. Nike is not reacting to Caitlin Clark's popularity. They are positioning themselves ahead of it. This is important because Nike's internal planning cycles are long. These kinds of activations are not thrown together in a few weeks. They require months of coordination across branding, manufacturing, marketing, and athlete relations. Which means that while public discourse focused on Olympic rosters and league politics, Nike was quietly laying groundwork for something much larger. What this tells us is simple but powerful. Nike views Caitlin Clark not as a moment, but as an era. They're not waiting for championships, MVPs, or longevity to justify the investment. They're making the investment first, with the expectation that success will follow. That is how Nike has always operated with athletes they believe can transcend sport. And that is exactly why the WNBA should be paying attention. When the most powerful brand in global sport starts building infrastructure around one player this early, it changes the center of gravity for the entire league.
Yeah, but for Caitlin Clark to be back at the Nike headquarters is legendary, bro. I just gotta be honest. Nike has definitely had their share of not doing nothing for Caitlin Clark. I'll be one of the first people to tell y'all, I feel as if Caitlin Clark, well, at first I thought Caitlin Clark wasn't getting the Nike treatment, but it looked like she really, really is. It says the most viewed teams before and after Caitlin Clark. Yeah, those are facts, bruh. One thing people can't say is that Caitlin Clark didn't transcend all of women's sports.
One of the most revealing elements of this rollout did not come from Nike itself, but from the fan-run accounts that documented it. Accounts like Caitlin Clark Offseason Source and CC Style are not official. They are not affiliated with teams or leagues. Yet they have become essential nodes in Clark's media ecosystem. Combined, these accounts command over 180,000 followers on Twitter. They track Clark's public appearances, outfits, endorsements, and movements with precision and speed that traditional sports media often cannot match. In fact, footage from Nike's headquarters appeared on these fan accounts before major outlets like ESPN reported on it. This represents a shift in power. Clark's brand does not rely exclusively on institutional media to reach fans. Her audience is already built, activated, and responsive. Content moves directly from source to consumer with minimal friction. Nike understands this dynamic perfectly. That is why these content creators were invited to document the event. Nike designed the experience knowing that fan media would amplify it faster and more authentically than traditional advertising ever could. This is not accidental. It is modern brand strategy. Clark's cultural footprint exists partially outside legacy media structures, and that independence increases her value. She does not need a television segment to trend. She needs a moment, and her audience does the rest. For the WNBA, this is a critical lesson. Clark is not just a star within the league. She operates in a parallel media universe that can elevate or bypass league messaging entirely.